Hey everyone, Batel here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about how the narcissists make you physically and emotionally sick. Now, if you have suffered narcissistic abuse, you definitely have a clue and an idea of what I am talking about, but I'm going to discuss it and dive really deep into that topic more. If you are looking for therapy sessions with me, please do email me at batelskater@gmail.com and I will discuss with you all the details regarding price, hours, and availability. Now, let's talk about narcissistic, physical, and emotional sickness. Before we talk about how you feel inside, I just want to remind you that sick people create sickness. What do I mean by that? If a person is emotionally unstable and they hate themselves or they dislike themselves or they are insecure with themselves, then their reality will mirror that in every relationship they have and within themselves. Narcissists have a very, very strategic way of making people physically and emotionally sick. Those symptoms are stomach knots, headaches, rashes, fear, anxiety, doubt, brain fog, where you're constantly questioning yourself. Self-doubt starts to creep in extremely deeply. You start feeling sorry and worried for the narcissist and constantly looking to make things better. Now, just that alone is sick. Let's not also forget the narcissists that inflict sexual and physical abuse. Those are the high top narcissists in the psychopathic category in the spectrum. Now, I just want to remind you that narcissists cannot change. Now, you may ask, how can they not change? Because they don't want to change. Narcissists enjoy the pain that they inflict on you. And I really, really, really want you to understand that and allow it to sink in. Regardless of if they tell you that that's not what you think, this is not how it is, I'm sorry, I won't do it again, or why are you taking things so personally? You're always so sensitive. I don't want to talk about this, and always trying to brush you off and brush you off and brush you off and brush you off as if your feelings just don't mean anything. What they did to you is not a big deal, right? Now, if you're constantly going over and over and over and over and over again this situation with this narcissist, what does that say about you? It says that you don't have any self-love because you are literally surrounded by a person who doesn't love themselves either. Being in a narcissistic relationship, whether it's your parent, a coworker, a friend, a relationship, a spouse, if they don't love themselves, they cannot love you. And if you don't love yourself, you will literally reflect that in your relationships. Now, I know that most of you out there are always willing to help the narcissist and want to help them see their flaws and see and oh my God, maybe if I tell them this and if I do this and they're gonna change, and maybe if I act like this or if I, anything, that eventually they're gonna change. But you have to see that it's actually a cycle within yourself, not the narcissist, because the narcissist is not going to change. And I've already said that. You have to change. And what does that mean? You have to accept that you are allowing yourself to be abused, whether it's emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually. You are allowing yourself to be abused. And I know it sounds really cruel what I'm saying, but it is what it is. The more you love yourself and the more you see that you don't deserve to be treated that way, the healthier your relationships would be. And it doesn't mean that, oh, I love myself. That means that when I love myself, the narcissist is going to love me too, and he's going to mirror that back. They don't have inner love, so they cannot love. They don't know what love is. You may think to yourself, oh, well, sometimes I get glimpses of their love. Sometimes they really shower me with gifts, or they buy me dinners, or they treat me really nice on certain days. And then sometimes they just come screaming at me for no reason, for no apparent reason. You have to understand that narcissists do not respect boundaries. So if you believe that they're going to respect your boundary, you're wrong. Narcissists feed off of your misery because they have to feel superior when you're miserable. Notice how every time you're happy, the narcissist finds a way to hurt you. Notice that. The narcissist does not want a healthy relationship because they don't have a healthy relationship within themselves. So they hate and envy people who find a way to make themselves happy. They envy and literally resent people who can be happy in their own presence, who can be happy for the smallest things, and who can find joy in anything that they do. Narcissists resent that so much that when they see that, they rage on that person. Their inner, excuse my language, their inner shitty resentment towards themselves make them take that resentment and wail on the external person who's actually happy, because they're so envious at the fact that they're happy that they have to take their rage onto that person just to see that they can make somebody feel just as bad as they feel. And then when that happens, then they could just sit back and smile and say, whew, whew, I still have control over that person. I never have to look within. I never have to do the inner work. I never have to feel bad for this person because they're always going to feel bad for me, and they will always be there as my emotional support and my emotional punching bag and physical punching bag. A lot of times on this channel, I don't talk about the physical abuse of narcissism because I have not gotten to those videos yet. They are extremely brutal. But I'm going from this low spectrum, and we're just going to get higher as we go. Like I said before, narcissists come in all types of disorders in the spectrum, and they are extremely toxic. And what makes a narcissist so special is that they cannot heal, and they will not heal. And I know it sounds selfish, and you may think, well, aren't we all born on planet Earth in order to heal? Yes, we are. But healing comes from wanting to heal. Narcissists do not want to heal. Anything that makes them feel their feelings for a second, or anything that triggers them, if you, the victim, are constantly pushing them, right? Because you're not pushing them at all. You're just gently explaining yourself to them, and they just start screaming like psychopaths. When you do that, and they start feeling their emotions just for a split second, they hate it so much because they don't want to see it. They hate feeling their feelings so much. They're like, oh my God, how dare you? How dare you cross this inside me? How dare you make me feel any type of emotion? I resent this, and I hate you so much for making me feel that I'm going to bark at you. I'm going to bark at you because I'm not going to heal myself. You think I am. You think that I'm going to look within and I'm going to take responsibility for my actions. But I can't do that because I have no empathy and I don't care. I'm living on planet Earth to control people, not to see them as equal or in a loving manner. I'm here to simply get what I want, which is narcissistic supply. It's to dominate every single human being that they meet for more supply. Please understand that a healthy person does not go out of their way to hurt other people. Please understand that a healthy person does not go out of their way to scream at other people for how they feel inside or blame shift other people for things that they don't know how to do. Now let's talk more about the physical illness and emotional illness that you feel and why you feel it. First of all, you feel it because you genuinely care for the person and you are constantly shocked at how they can treat you this way. You are so shocked that somebody that you honestly care for and want the best for can constantly find a way to inflict pain onto you for the smallest things. Narcissists are extremely emotionally immature. They have not developed any type of mature adult skill, and they don't know how to control their emotion. And the reason so is because in childhood they were either neglected extremely hardcorely, so that's what they do to the people that they meet now, or they were praised for things that weren't even all that, and that's why they constantly need praise from you over and over and over and over and over again. Validation, validation, validation. Narcissistic individuals are extremely codependent. They do not know what independence means. Narcissists are extremely afraid of being alone. They cannot even spend an hour a day in solitude. They can't. They have to text someone, they have to call someone, they have to bother someone, they have to talk about themselves, they have to get validation, they have to degrade someone, devalue someone, laugh at someone, inflict pain, abuse. If they have a spouse, they have to have all types of other people to cheat on. Narcissists are codependent. They cannot have any self-value. They don't know what self-value really means. They don't know what it's like to love oneself. And because internally it kills them so much that they target people who have feelings and self-awareness, because they know, oh, well, this person's going to have feelings to take care of me emotionally, and they're going to have to constantly feed my ego. And once they stop feeding my ego, I'm going to keep devaluing them and mistreating them so they can keep validating my ego. And if they don't, I'm going to discard them and leave a ginormous mark in their soul. But please understand that narcissists have no and very low self-esteem. And so if their self-esteem gets broken, for example, if you just sit there calmly while they're yelling and screaming and shouting at you and don't respond and don't even look at them and just literally walk up and go mind your own business and mind your own day, they're either going to be in utter shock and they're going to just show you how fragile they are, or they're going to wail at you even more and try to physically hurt you so you can stop and please their egoic needs. Now, I want you to understand that repeating cycles with a narcissist would literally traumatize you and psychologically damage your brain. Please understand that. I know many of you out there are actually living and you're part of narcissistic everyday life. And you will keep repeating these cycles until the day you are so sick and so tired of the pain because you know you didn't do anything wrong. You just know it. There's no reason for you to wake up every single day and behave like the narcissist. So until the day you get extremely sick of being hurt, you're going to leave. And then you're going to actually realize that you're strong, stronger than the narcissist. Stronger than a narcissist will ever be because they're not strong at all. Like I said before, they're codependent. And when you actually remove yourself from the narcissistic dynamic, you're going to wonder why you couldn't do it sooner. And that's because you were lacking yourself. You were lacking seeing that all this energy and all this time and all this talking back and forth and all the arguing and yelling and screaming and trying to explain to the narcissist blah 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 what they're doing wrong, all of that stuff that you did for them, you could have actually took all that energy and put it on yourself to make your life better. Treat yourself well. Go out for walks. Find a new job. Have new relationships, better relationships. Now, I know that a lot of you may sit there out there and go, oh, well, where can I find a really good relationship? Where can I find a really good friendship? If you don't have a good relationship with yourself, you're going to keep meeting these types of people. And you're wondering, well, how can I indicate who's good and who's bad? It's what you accept in your life. If you feel like you always have to take care of somebody or heal somebody or prove yourself to somebody, then that's the lack that you have within yourself. You have to be the receiver now. It's time to receive awesomeness. It's time to receive happiness. It's time to value your time. Because, sweetheart, we don't know when we're going to die. So if you're going to keep spending time with someone who doesn't love themselves and doesn't value you and does not respect your boundaries and constantly finds the smallest things to argue about, I promise you, you can be out there in solitude all on your own, figure yourself out, heal yourself, love yourself. And naturally, every time you meet somebody, you're going to be like, oh, well, I see that this person still has a lot of inner issues, or I see that this person is seeking for validation, or you know what, I see that this person is really needy and codependent. You have to really heal yourself before you can find healthy people. Healthy people don't just naturally appear into your life. People have to heal first in order to know what it looks like on the other person. See, you haven't healed yourself yet, so you don't know what a healthy relationship looks like. Please understand also that it's not you and it's not your fault that the narcissist behaves the way they behave. See, you're codependent, so you attracted yourself codependent as well. And what do I mean by codependency? You feel the need to show somebody how great you are to be loved. And this person constantly needs to show you how fragile they are in order to be loved. That's two different styles of codependency, but it's equally the same thing. And you may ask yourself, well, isn't the entire world codependent? You know, I have children and I have parents and I have friends, and doesn't that mean codependency? No. That's not codependency. That's just being a part of somebody's life. But when you're emotionally attached to somebody's feelings and somebody's life and somebody's neediness, and you're also attached to the idea that you need to be a certain type of way in order to receive love, that's codependency. When you love yourself, when you fully love yourself, and somebody doesn't treat themselves well, you will be able to instantly see that, and you're not going to want to be around that person because you're going to have self-love. You're going to understand on a deep level what self-love means. And that's why I encourage you to get on my therapy sessions, because that's where I dive extremely, extremely deep into understanding what you're doing to yourself, why you're doing it, and how to find yourself again. See, everybody has self-love, and everybody on a deep, 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 deep level knows what it is to be a healthy individual, but they just don't do it out of fear, out of trauma, out of belief systems, and also not believing that you deserve love. See, love is not out there. Love comes from within first. So if you love yourself, you know that you cannot be around toxic people because you love yourself and they don't. And you shouldn't feel bad for them. Every single human being on planet Earth is on their own journey to find themselves. And just because this narcissistic person hates themselves, it doesn't mean that you need to stick around and love them and show them all this affection. They should be able to do that for themselves. And they don't need to inflict so much pain on other people because they hate themselves so much. But that's what they do. And they really believe that it's normal. See, narcissists live in their own universe, and it's called the universe of me, myself, and I. So if you find yourself constantly having stomach knots, headaches, appeared rashes, even nightmares, anxiety, shakiness, you're experiencing trauma, you're experiencing anxiety and fear. What will the narcissist do next? How should I react? What should I say? That's extremely codependent trauma bond, and you're not living life for you. You're living your life for the narcissist. So I hope that you can really, really, really understand and take your power back. And as much as you care, quote unquote, care for this person, I want you to understand that no matter how much this person bought you things or showed you affection, I want you to accept that they only care about themselves. They do not care about you. They don't physically tell you that. Maybe they have. But they really don't care about you. All they care about is making sure that you're on a leash and they have dominance over you, so they can keep putting down your self-esteem and take control over your entire life, so they can somewhat feel secure, because they are so extremely insecure and they lack the ability to look within. They are so insecure that that's why they do what they do to people. Do you understand that? Highly motive people who are secure within themselves never need to control, to argue, to dominate, to take over, to gaslight, to lie, to manipulate, to physically and emotionally abuse, to neglect, to shame. People who love themselves will never, ever do that to other people, because they have value within themselves and they don't see the need, God forbid, to treat somebody so poorly. So I really hope you guys understand. And I'll see you guys on the next mental health series. I sincerely hope that this information today made you realize a lot of things about yourself that you need to really focus on and start taking care of. It could be really scary and traumatizing for even the thought to come to mind of you may be leaving the narcissist's life. Oh my goodness, right? But like I said in many of my videos, you have to cross to the other side of fear and see what's on the other side. The problem is that you're stagnant and you haven't experienced more of life. You've only experienced this cycle on a daily basis. There's so much more out there you haven't seen.